Philly is not just going to be another East Coast city, it's going to be a living museum. You're going to have cobblestone streets where the founding fathers once walked, to entire towns that are just dedicated to the Revolutionary War. The Philadelphia region is going to be packed with neighborhoods that make you feel that you stepped right into the past. And it's not all about history, because a lot of these places are some of the most incredible places that you can live today. In this video, I'm going to break down some of the most historic neighborhoods in Philadelphia and the suburbs. I'm going to cover places like Old City, Valley Forge, but also some hidden spots like Doylestown and Manayunk that you might not even know about. And you're gonna have to stick around till the end, because I'm gonna tell you which mainline suburb has some of the just most sought after mansions that are still being bought and sold today. Actually, one of the, I'm gonna explain the reason for the competition in some of these markets. You're not gonna wanna miss it. Let's get into the video. Hey, if you're new to the channel, my name is Zach and I'm a local real estate professional here in the Philadelphia area. On this channel, I help buyers, sellers, or really anyone thinking about making a move. I show you things from market trends, neighborhoods, red flags when buying a home, really anyone considering a move to this area. Get to know what life is really like in these areas, in these neighborhoods, since I lived here my entire life. So if you are considering a move, hit that subscribe button and don't hesitate to reach out. I would love to connect with you. I'll put my information up here on the screen just at ease convenience. You can reach out via text, call, email, even schedule a free Zoom consultation. That's honestly what I would prefer. Let's meet face to face and we can talk about your long-term and short-term real estate goals. Let's get into the video. First up, we've got Old City, and this is really gonna be a place that just defines Philadelphia's history, but not just Philadelphia's history, almost America's history. It's often called the birthplace of America, and there's a few reasons why. You're gonna have Independence Hall. This is where the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence were signed. Just across the street from there, you're gonna have the Liberty Bell. And then you're also gonna have the Betsy Ross House, which is where the first American flag was sewn. Now, if you talk to any tourist that has visited Philadelphia, they've probably been to these spots, checked the box, taken a picture, maybe bought a souvenir and left. But if you really want to feel the history, if you really want to feel the character and the charm that this neighborhood has to offer, you're gonna have to walk around some of the streets, and I'll tell you exactly what you're gonna see. So as you walk around, you're gonna see cobblestone sidewalks, you're gonna be surrounded by 18th century brick row homes. You're very likely to pass by some historic taverns that were in Revolutionary War era. A lot of them, or some of them, are still operable till today. You can go in, grab a lunch, grab a bite to eat, drink, whatever it is. And if you want to go to a notable spot, you can go to Eifrith's Alley. This was actually officially announced as the oldest continuously inhabited neighborhood street in the entire United States. A little tongue twister, but very cool to go check out some records, see this in real life, and just experience it as you tour the city or look for a place to live. If you do go to the street, just a little information about it. Families have lived here since the early 1700s, and many people still live here till today. You're gonna walk down that street, it's gonna feel like you stepped into a time machine. One of the biggest draws to Old City today is that it doesn't feel like it's stuck in the past. It's gonna be a perfect blend of history, of modern living as well. You're gonna have the colonial architecture of housing and style of buildings, but then you're gonna have sleek art galleries, you're gonna have boutique shops. Actually, some of the best restaurant and bar scenes are gonna be in this neighborhood as well. If you are into nightlife, Old City is gonna have a vibrant bar and restaurant scene for nightlife as well. If you are into arts, you've got creative spaces, you've got design studios, sleek art galleries, like I said, all throughout the neighborhood. One of the best parts about Old City is that you're gonna be in the heart of Philadelphia. You're gonna have Center City, Penn's Landing, easy access to 95, all just within minutes. So you're gonna be living in some history, but you're also gonna have a lot of modern conveniences that are honestly very desirable in the city. Next up, we're gonna have Manayunk, and this is gonna just sit right on the banks of the Schuylkill River, just a couple miles outside of the city. And this was Manayunk was once a 19th century mill town. You've had mills lined up all around the Schuylkill, and then the neighborhood grew around that. So you'll see that in the style of housing, in the architecture today. The cool part is that a lot of these mills are still standing. They've been transformed into modern spaces, lofts, condos, other functional spaces that still keep the character today as you walk around or drive past Manayunk on your way to the city. When you walk through Manayunk, you're gonna see a mix of row homes, Victorian era homes. You're gonna see old stone factories like we had just talked about, all turned into living spaces and functional properties. And then you've got Main Street here in Manayunk. This is going to be probably the heart of the city. We're going to talk about that a little bit more, what that has to offer on Main Street. So on Main Street, you're going to have boutique shops, you're going to have cafes, breweries. Some of the best bar and restaurants in the city are going to be right here on Main Street. You stop by on a Friday night, you stop by on the weekends, one of the street festivals where they close down the streets, you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. Outside of that, in Manayunk, you're gonna see runners, bikers, families enjoying the waterfront, the trails. You've got miles and miles of trails up and down the Schuylkill that you can go down. It's gonna be a very walkable and connected town. You could head into Center City at about 20 minutes. You can get into Fairmount Park, go look at the woods, some nature in about 25 minutes. Everything's gonna be, and you know, Turnpike, expressways, all of that are gonna be very accessible. Manayunk has seen a huge draw for younger professionals, maybe working in the city, first-time home buyers, really anyone that loves a balance of history. You've got modern convenience, you've got, you know, that vibrant night scene, art scene. It's really one of the reasons why this has been one of the most appealing neighborhoods in the city. So just outside the city in Montgomery and Chester County, you're gonna find one of the most important Revolutionary War sites, probably in all of history. This is gonna be Valley Forge. And I've got tons of videos up about Valley Forge, the Revolutionary War, King of Prussia, all of that. Back in 1777, 1778, George Washington and his army camped out here in Valley Forge, and it was one of the most brutal winters ever. Food was scarce, soldiers were underdressed, morale was down. It was just an all-time low for the army, you could say. But this is also the site where they, you know, banded together, trained together, and then ultimately came out stronger. In a lot of ways, Valley Forge became the turning point of the war and really showed the resilience that America had. Today it's going to be preserved as Valley Forge National Historical Park. So when you visit today, you're going to see the monuments, you're going to see the log cabins that the soldiers actually lived in. You've got Washington's headquarters, miles of trails that the soldiers were, you know, game planning on and strategizing on, through fields, through woods, you know, seeing where those encampments once were. One of the big differences from Valley Forge and Old City and Manayunk is that Valley Forge doesn't just have historic sites. It's a very thriving place to live. Not that these other places aren't, but around the park, you're gonna have very established neighborhoods. You're gonna be in a lot more suburban feel. So very established neighborhoods, you know, quarter acre to acre plus lots, single family homes, even some newer developments that are going in there. I've got some videos up about Bridgeport and you know, the brownstones that are just outside of the town center. So you're gonna have a ton of different housing options and variety of houses compared to Manayunk or maybe Old City. You're gonna have driveways, garages, sidewalks that you could walk the dogs on, right? Just a lot more spread out, many more parks and smaller parks throughout neighborhoods. But you could live, you know, 10 minutes away and still have this iconic American landmark just in your backyard. And we haven't even spoken about schools. I mean, this is gonna be one of the best school districts, one of the most highly sought after school districts, the Upper Marion School District. I've got more videos up about that, but this is really a place you can send your schools to, a top rated school district, right? Go to Upper Marion. You can have all of the shopping, the restaurants you need right around the corner. You've got the town center, the King of Prussia Mall. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But then you can spend your weekends biking, hiking, walking, having a picnic in the park, learning about the history. It's gonna be an overall, probably one of the best spots that you can live in today. And if you're a commuter, it's gonna be a sweet spot for you. You're gonna be near major highways like 422, the Turnpike. You're getting into Philadelphia, going into Jersey, Delaware, even further out into Pennsylvania, Collegeville, Coventry. Everything's gonna be about a 30 to 45 minute radius or commute. And like we said before, you're gonna be able to throw a rock to the King of Prussia Mall, one of the second largest mall in the country. So any shopping, dining, literally anything that you need is gonna be very, very convenient. When you go north into Bucks County, you're gonna find a town where pretty much every corner and street feels like it has a story, and that's gonna be Doylestown. The story starts with Henry Mercer, who's an archaeologist, a historian, craftsman whose influence really shaped Doylestown. He built the Mercer Museum. This is a 6-story concrete castle. I've got other videos about that. It houses more than 40,000 artifacts from everyday life from the pre-industrial age of America. Down the street from that, you're gonna have the Fonthill Castle. This was his own home at the time. It's designed like a medieval fortress, obviously turned into a museum today. And then you've got Moravian Pottery and Tile Works that still operates today. This is gonna just continue his legacy of craftsmanship. And Doylestown is not all about museums and castles, and it is a living, breathing town. It's got a very scenic bar scene, restaurant scene. When you walk through the downtown, you're gonna find, you know, 18th, 19th century stone houses, very historic storefronts. The main street is gonna be similar to a lot of these other places. It's gonna be that center of the town, pretty much that heartbeat of the area. On Main Street, like anywhere else, you're gonna be able to grab a coffee at local cafes. You've got boutique shops, you've got art galleries up and down the main street. Taking a day trip down here, just walking up and down this main street, you're gonna quickly realize why Doylestown is just so highly sought after. Doylestown is gonna be part of the highly rated Central Bucks School District, and a lot of families like living here because if you are commuting into the city, you've got the rail line that takes you right into the city, about 20-25 minutes commute, and you're right into the city, not having to worry about parking, driving, stuff like that. Doylestown housing is going to range from modern townhouses to historic mansions. The main line probably tells the best story of just how the Philadelphia elite shaped the region's future. There's not going to be any two towns that tell it better than Ardmore and Bryn Mawr. In the 19th century, when the Pennsylvania Railroad was coming out west, the city, the wealthiest Pennsylvanians built just these amazing estates right along the tracks. And these started stretching out towns, eventually called the Main Line, which I've got a ton of other videos about. And Ardmore and Bryn Mawr were the very heart of this main line. The Gilded Age definitely left its mark here. You're gonna see grand stone mansions, you're gonna see lush tree-lined streets, entire neighborhoods that just feel like they've been stuck in time. And what's best about this town is that it's where communities just continue to thrive today. You're gonna have the Bryn Mawr College, one of the most prestigious women's colleges in the country. Ardmore is home to Suburban Square. This is gonna be one of the very first shopping centers in America, dating back to the 1920s. Today, it's just a hub of life. You're gonna have historic architecture, modern stores, restaurants, farmers markets. The main line has always been associated with money, exclusivity, and you can still feel that legacy today. The majority of the estates have been preserved. Some have been turned into institutions. They've been subdivided into smaller homes or smaller properties, but the character still remains. And from a lifestyle perspective, both towns are gonna have a balance that you just don't often see. You're gonna get access to top-rated schools. You're gonna get easy connections from the railroad into the city, straight into the Philadelphia, straight farther out into the suburbs. And you're gonna have a lifestyle that blends, history, culture, and all of your modern conveniences. So there you go. You're gonna have Old City, you're gonna have Manayunk, Valley Forge, Doylestown, and the Main Line. Those are gonna be the top 5 most historic areas where history is not just remembered, but it's gonna be lived every single day. And that's the best part about this area, is that you don't just get to visit history, you get to live in it every single day. Every neighborhood is going to tell a story, and the question for you is, which story do you want to be a part of? If you are considering making a move to this area and you want to move to a place with character, these are some of the best places that I would recommend checking out first. And of course, if you ever want to dive deeper, I'm here to be a resource. I work right here in all of these areas, and I would love to help you find the perfect home and history that fits you best. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell notification so that you don't miss any future videos about living in this area. If you are considering making a move to this area, you can reach out to me via text, call, email. I'll put my information up here on the screen just at ease of convenience. I would love to connect with you and talk about your long-term and short-term real estate goals. Until next time, I will see you around the neighborhood.